Welcome to the Athletes Unlimited Softball League, presented by Mizuno. Beautiful day in Rosemont, Illinois for our final day before we break for Omaha and Seattle. Summer camp day at the ballpark. Blazing Bandits kick off our two-game set today from Parkway Bank Sports Complex. Another sellout crowd. That's 3 straight now here in Rosemont. More coming this weekend. The Bandits got a little help last night from the Talons. They knocked off the Volts to keep them 4 games back of the Bandits in second place. Top 2 go to Tuscaloosa. The problem is for everybody else, the Talons look unbeatable right now. We'll see what they do later today against the Volts. Alongside the 2-time All-American Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. Well, Bandits have lost 3 straight. They didn't lose back-to-back in the first half of the season. Here they are now, losers of 3 straight. It's just about getting their form back from the first half.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the first 11 games, they only lost 2 times, and now here they find themselves losing 3 in a row, going back to the last game of the break and the first 2 to start after the break. And they've given a couple of other pitchers a chance to start games, and Emily Kennedy started game 1 after the break, and Sarah Willis in game 2, but now they're going to turn to their ace in L Kilfoyl, who they have so much belief at any point in the game to enter in. And so she'll get the start in game 3 in a must-win situation, what feels like a must-win situation for the Bandits to avoid losing now 4 in a row. L Kilfoyl, second best ERA in the AUSL. She is their ace, looking to get a quality start from her today.
Well, big news for the Blaze, and it's going to be a little bit tougher time for Kilfoyl because she's going to go up against one of the best hitters in the league for the first time in 4 games. Bailey Klingler returns from injury.
Yeah, she'll be playing third base in the starting lineup in the middle of the order, and she has been hot offensively, hitting .500, second best in the AUSL. They have missed her bat the last 4 games. She was missing due to injury. However, the Blaze's offense looks good. They scored 12 runs against the Bandits yesterday, but they will take her as they need to score every single run that they possibly can today.
A lineup that had 17 hits, 12 runs. Klingler slots into the 6th hole. Aubrey Leach there in the 2 spot. This lineup as a whole, like a lot of things are clicking right now. Otis starting to really fire on all cylinders. Aubrey Leach is swinging a great bat. Gibson Horton on a gold. Kowalik was a menace on the base paths yesterday. Allie Newland out of the reserve player pool got the start. She reached every time she came to the plate. Otis leading things off against L Kilfoyl, the second-year player out of Land Lakes, Florida, played at Oklahoma State. Otis finished her college career at Florida for Tim Walton. First-team All-American as a junior, had a great senior season as well. She's got a 1-1 count to start this game.
She's been on fire, getting her average up to .500. That slugging percentage continues to increase as well with their home run yesterday. Not a Blaze team that hits a lot of home runs, so even in that high-scoring game with 22 runs against the Bandits yesterday, we only had 1 home run in that game. It came off the bat of Otis, an opposite field shot to right field, and it was a solo shot. All those runs, just 1 home run.
For Otis, 8 of her 16 hits this year have come against the Bandits. Both of her home runs have come against the Bandits. It's multiple hits in each of her last 3 games against them. This is right at Nichols Camarena in right field, 1 out.
Good job of using that changeup to get her out, but we talked about L Kilfoyl's second best ERA in the AUSL. She is the ace of this staff and stands tall, 6'2". Gonna stay more down in the zone, but she was the first overall pick in the inaugural draft way back earlier this year.
Played with the USA All-Stars at the training camp in Norman right after our break started. A lot of those players stayed in Norman for Team USA festivities. Kilfoyl on the All-Star. She's an alternate on the USA roster for the World Games later this summer in August. It'll be played in China. Aubrey Leach, who's at the plate right now, another one of the alternates.
And she throws a lot of strikes, 18 strikeouts, just 4 walks. So 4 walks in 24 innings pitched. Big time strike thrower, has a lot of command. And also the highest ground ball rate of anybody on the Bandit staff, and she also throws the most strikes out of anybody on the Bandit staff. High strike percentage.
Staff that ranks 2nd in the league in ERA behind the Volts. it's safe to say 3 of the 4 teams really, really need a win. The Bandits for different reasons. For them, it's just about playing better right now. They still got a 4-game lead on the Volts for that 2nd spot. They're just trying to get back into the groove that they've had since the beginning of the season.
Talked about that ground ball percentage, highest on the team, in large part to the fact that she throws her drop ball 62% of the time at a high velocity, 67 miles an hour, and then second most used pitch is her changeup. That's what she got Otis out on to lead off this game, pop up to right field.
Two count to Aubrey Leach. Became the 4th player in the AUSL to record a 4-hit game last night. 4 for 5 at the plate. And she walks. That's something she does more than anyone else in the league. Something she did more than anyone in the history of Tennessee's program.
They had 17 hits last night. Just a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts, but 17 hits that the Blaze put together to score those 12 runs. And they're going to need to continue to use the strength of their offense. Their pitching staff, we've seen through the first 14 games, they give up runs.
First pitch swinging. Gibson Horton got something she liked and did something about it the first hit of the game. The first baseman out of Arkansas.
Looking down in the zone, a drop ball kind of bled back over the plate. Good pitch to hit for Danielle Gibson. Looking down against Kilfoyl, you're going to see a lot of these hitters prepared to look down in the zone against her. It's just going to be all about getting on time with her because she will mix in that changeup.
Maybe 2 future head coaches on the base paths right now. Aubrey Leach at second, who is the director of player development at Tennessee currently. Gibson Horton, an assistant at Arkansas, and this is a friendly out for the Bandits. Anna Gold pops out to second base.
And one important thing to talk about with Kilfoyl too is her change of speeds, because she relies on that drop ball at 67 so much, 62% of the time that she'll throw it. But not only will she mix speeds with her changeup, that being an off-speed curveball that she threw that got Anna Gold off the end of the bat for a lazy fly ball.
First chance for Kayla Kowalik. Couple hits last night, couple walks, scored twice. Had some really heads-up base running on 2 different occasions. Both of them producing runs. One time she scored, saving Mackenzie Clark, who had kind of gotten herself in a pickle between second and third. On the other occasion, saw no one was standing on second base, so she took off from first, got tagged out, but it allowed Anna Gold to score. We were watching that play, actually, after the game, and you could see Anna Gold on third base pointing to second to Kowalik to go, and basically so exactly what happened could happen.
It's important for her to be heads up in that play to see the same thing.
Tapped left side, flipped to third, not going to be in time. It's a good idea, but McKinney was so far up the line playing Kowalik that she could not get back to cover.
You have to respect the speed of Kowalik, and because McKinney is playing so far up the line, she's able to sneak this past McKinney, and when it gets deep into that hole, it just creates a lot of opportunities for the base runners to reach. And something to pay attention to, Chucky, against Lexi Kilfoyl is the lefties having success against Kilfoyl. Lefties hitting over 100 points higher off of her than righties. Righties hitting 245 off of Lexi Kilfoyl, lefties 351, and at this point, all 3 lefties have reached.
Well, welcome back, Bailey Klingler. With the bases loaded against one of the league's best pitchers, she gets her chance. She hit the first Grand Slam in AUSL history against the Talons in Chattanooga. We are staying way inside to Klingler.
I think it's the biggest difference, too, when Kilfoyl throws against right-handed hitters versus left-handed hitters, is that she can really run pitches inside to righties with her speed. And not only is that drop ball dropping down, it kind of screws in towards them to give them a difficult look to get their barrel to it. As she gets the strikeout there on a drop ball away to get Klingler, it just goes right at her. Base is loaded. Kilfoyl versus Klingler for matchup number 1. Second best ERA versus second best batting average, and Kilfoyl wins it.
Zero zeros. We go to the bottom of the first. First chance for this Bandits offense. Got to be hungry for a win. Got back on track last night as far as production goes. Had 15 hits, scored 10 runs. They'd had a little bit of struggles in the previous couple losses. Last night it was more the pitching, but man, this lineup is so good. Zerkle, Wallace down to Coffel, who she had the chance last night to win it at the plate. I think a lot of people were thinking, here we go, because Koffel's done it so many times. Did not come through in that instance. She did have 3 hits and a couple RBIs, though. Bubba Nichols-Camarena in the 4th spot behind her. They will face off with A Ocasio, trying to get right in the second half of the season. We saw her briefly yesterday in an inning and a third. Gave up 4 hits, 3 earned, and gets a first pitch swinging by Morgan Zerkle. That's an out. She will gladly take it. Former star at Florida, was a national champion there in 2015. Just not the numbers you expect from A Ocasio.
No, and every chance, or every time that she goes out right now is a chance for her to get back on track. I'm sure that's what she's thinking too, is that today is going to be the day that the season turns for me, because seeing that ERA for Ocasio is quite stunning. But as a pitcher who's had so much success in the past, you know that it's there. You know you just have to work to find it, to tweak something, to have that one inning even that you feel more like yourself, and to get back on track and to spin the ball and change speeds with the way that she's really capable of doing.
Few pitchers can go through this Bandits lineup one time, let alone 2 or 3. They get so much better. They're great to start, but the second and third time through, the numbers really balloon, as that's over the head of Leach. Cut off by Clark in center. Wallace wants 2. She's out. What a throw! Mackenzie Clark out in center field, making a big play.
They switch spots, Andrews and Clark, because
the Bandits are
let's see, Clark is able to cut it off. Excuse me. Clark is able to cut it off and just wail in a throw, and then the tag. That got out there so quickly, Chucky, because it was 80 miles an hour off of the bat, so it got out to Clark with her ability to cut it off, and then the tag by Anna Gold. Skylar Wallace thinks that she beat it, maybe got her hand in, but I thought that they got her. Skylar Wallace is so fast, too. Goes hard in. We'll be able to tell here. Oh, I do think she got her hand in before the tag got to her. Let's see. Anna Gold does a great job of keeping the tag on Skylar Wallace, but when her right hand comes off of the bag, it looks like her left hand replaces it. That is a bang-bang play. Clark showed a big fist pump and emotion. What a play. Clark showing off her arm.
After review, the call on the field has been changed. Safe.
It's a pretty quick review. I mean, that was an awesome play by Mackenzie Clark. And with the speed of Skylar Wallace, she knew that she had to hustle and make a great throw on a Gold with the tag. But Skylar Wallace, she's barely getting her hand in before Gold put the tag on. That was 80 miles an hour off of the bat again. It's a high exit velocity for softball.
This is Coffel now, with Wallace in scoring position. Coffel 3 for 4 yesterday, a walk, run scored, drove in a couple. She has just been an absolute machine this year.
Just to clarify, too, with our outfield situation, we're getting mixed up because our stat broadcast in our starting lineup had Aaliyah Andrews in center and Mackenzie Clark in right, and that is not the case with Clark in center and Kaitlin Harding in right field.
Coffel walks. Harding has not played a lot this season, but she gets the start out in right, as you mentioned. Leah Andrews just maybe a late scratch. There's Mackenzie Clark, who was traded right before the end of the first half of the season from the Volts in exchange for Sierra Briggs. It was actually kind of a defense for offense switch, but Clark showing right there plenty of defense that she brings to the table as well. Popped up and out of play by Nichols Camarena. Bubba 1 for 5, drove in a pair of runs last night. 0-2 pitch. Oh. Tell you what, these third base coaches, we're gonna move that box down the left field line or something. It's a dangerous spot to be.
Oh, it's just flying off the bat these days. A lot of third base coaches just all the way, well, like kind of in the left field down the line with the righty up.
Also foul. So Klingler at third today. Anna Gold, who might be the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year, moves over to shortstop. Klingler excited to be back in the lineup. We got to talk to Anna Gold yesterday in the field. Nichols in play. Gibson Horton just in foul territory, 2 outs.
Big out for Ocasio to try to put up a 0 here. He's the best hitters in the Bandits lineup, and she's going to actually be relying mostly on a rise ball. That's what she just got Nichols Camarena to pop out on. So mix in her drop ball at 29% of the time and changeup at 18% of the time. It really mixes her speeds all throughout 51 to 65 miles an hour. And as Sydney McKinney now hitting in the 5 spot, moving her up in the lineup from the 9 hole to the 5 spot because she has been so hot down there, trying to get her some more ABs, some more opportunities with runners in scoring position like she comes up with right here in her first AB in that spot.
Kind of a win-win with McKinney, right? You put her in the 9 spot, she can turn it over to Zerkle and Wallace and Coffel, which she's done so well this year, but now a little bit more of a run-producing role for her potentially. Takes that for ball 1 outside.
It still has a lot of different tools. Like she just showed bunt right there, but she's been swinging it with power. You have to respect her speed when she's at the plate, as well as the pop that she has off of her bat. She's been swinging it so well, as a lot of these Bandits hitters have been, as they've been at the top of the league in terms of offensive production for the majority of the season.
McKinney's 20 hits trail only Zerkle for most on the team. McKinney hitting .465 this year. 1-2 into left field. Otis coming on. Otis makes the catch. Big play defensively and a lot different look in the first inning with 2 zeros between these two teams.
We'll see how this ends up playing out, because usually it is so much offense between these two teams, but it's been the pitchers and the defense that have stepped up early in this one.
The Athletes Unlimited Softball League is sponsored by Mizuno. Summer camp day at the ballpark. A lot of young, energetic fans on an early morning start here for us. 10:30 local time start. One more game later today, the Volts and Talons. That's set for a 1 o'clock local start.
I love seeing all these young girls, all these young kids, boys as well, out here taking in pro softball.
First pitch swinging for Clark, 1 out.
Inaugural season of the AUSL, and the more eyes that we can get on these leaders and role models in our sport, the better, because it just creates dreams in these young players that they too can be out here as a Bandit, as a Blaze, as a Volt, as a Talon. I love seeing these young fans here taking in the action. Another sellout crowd, 3 in a row.
Allie Newland, first pitch swinging deep to right center. Newland swinging a hot bat. Couple hits yesterday and the big swing today to put the Blaze on top.
Newland sure has added some pop and fire into this Blaze lineup, who was already swinging well, but additional pop in the bottom half of the order. They reserved her from, or excuse me, they selected her from the reserve pool, and all she has done yesterday and today is hit. Early in the count, looking down again, gets an inside pitch similar to the one that Danielle Gibson-Wharton hit earlier in the game. These lefties are attacking that drop ball in when Kilfoyl is going there early in the count.
Allie Newland lived on the bases yesterday. She wasn't even supposed to be in the lineup. That was another late change that the Blaze made. It was supposed to be A Ocasio hitting in that spot yesterday, but Newland got the nod. She did a great job, so obviously there was no expectation that that would be changed today, and continues swinging a great bat. She's here because of Taylor Edwards on the injured reserve list. Stepping up big for the veteran catcher.
A beautiful swing that she just put on that ball, too.
This is Kaitlin Harding, who's looking for her first hit of the season. Fouls that off for strike 2. Let's check in with Savannah.
Allie, we've seen left-handed hitters have success against Lexi. You see that drop ball, is that when your eyes get big, I'm going for it?
Yeah, I think off of her, like, her stuff is so good and tries to make you chase off the plate. So anything elevated and over the plate is definitely why you're hunting. I think we did a great job preparing. Our staff did such a good job, so I felt really confident going into today.
You've been such a spark for this team. How have you wanted to embrace the role you've been given in this lineup to show up for the Blaze this series?
I've just been so excited to be with them. They're such a great group. Really just like vicarious joy from all of them. They're so happy for each other's successes, and you really want to do your job and like do your role so that other people can continue to do their job, but it's easy with a group like this who really just wants you to be good.
Thanks, Allie.
Thank you.
And that's why, even with the 3-11 record with the Blaze, you hear how Allie Newland, new to the team, talks about this team, and they have shown the fight. And you just feel like they have the personnel and the talent that just wins have been so close for them. And they still have this belief, even despite being in 4th place in the league and 11 losses next to their name, they're still fighting.
They'll go to Seattle this weekend where they'll play the Volts. So that's the bottom 2 in the league, the top 2 in the league with 3-game series this weekend. The Talons and Bandits meet up in Omaha, but hypothetically, the Blaze rattle off 3 of the next 4 here. You just never know. You'd be in a pretty good spot at 6 wins where you're probably only 5 games maybe out of one of those top 2 spots at that time. Your chances are limited, but you could certainly make it interesting.
They just have to keep swinging it. I think that is the biggest thing for them, is that they have to put as many runs on the board as humanly possible and go into every game thinking we've got to score double digits, because their pitching have just given up so many runs and they've not been able to finish games. They've had leads late and have not been able to finish, although they did win last night in that 12-10 win.
Otis goes down looking, strikeout number 2 for Kilfoyl.
And Lexi Kilfoyl is so tough to hit extra base hits against, but it's Allie Newland. Solo home run, her first home run, and her first RBI of the season.
One of the key pieces of their lineup is back, and that's Bailey Klingler. She wasn't on the IL, but she was going through concussion protocol back in June, right before the league took a break. She had a collision on a defensive play, so she's just working her way back to a start today. She said she had to go a certain amount of days symptom-free. Then she kind of got cleared to take some long walks, go outside, and then she's been having concussion protocol practice days until she was cleared for today's game. But she said she is still sharp when it comes to her hitting right now and the numbers she has been able to put up. She said I am my aggressive self right now. If there is a pitch in the zone, she's going for it. She says she's free flowing. You could see how excited she was to be back on the field today.
I'll put this on their Instagram story. Mood because I'm cleared for game day. They're glad to have her back. Has already had one big chance. Hoping to make an impact with her bat in this game. Well, I was going to talk pitching plan with you, with the Blaze, what they wanted out of Alicia Ocasio. They're making the change right now. A Vawter coming in, third appearance of the week for Vawter. Saw her last night close the game out. Did give up 4 hits in that 1 inning, but only 1 run came across.
So the Blaze have 5 pitchers, right? Maybe the game plan is going to be an inning for each of the pitchers, and maybe have Lemley, who has been like their best pitcher up to this point, come in to close it to finish the game and throw multiple innings.
Popped out to the shortstop Gold, so there's 1 out for Vawter.
I like getting ahead of things, though. It's been times where it seems like maybe the Blaze have left pitchers in for too long in games, so taking a different approach. We'll see how long Vawter goes, if she throws multiple innings or if it's 1 inning and then on to the next.
What did you think they might do with Ocasio today? What was your thought before you see this move made?
I would say go 1 time through, but I like this 1 time through the order, I should say. Not just 1 inning that she would pitch, but I like the approach because it takes pressure off of your pitchers if you go in with this game plan that we're going to use our full staff, and every pitcher is just almost every pitcher is going to be worried just about getting 3 outs. My mindset is not that I have to go 1 time through the order or 3 innings or go for the entire game. You go out there and say, I just have to have my best stuff for 3 outs in 1 inning and give my all.
Right back to Vawter. 2 quick outs here for A Vawter out of the bullpen.
And it could be, too, that if she gets some quick outs like this, is there were multiple runners that reached, multiple hitters that reached against Ocasio in the first. If she gets quick outs, maybe she goes 2. Vawter is going to throw a lot of drop balls, just like her counterpart pitching this game, L Kilfoyl, although she uses her drop ball even more at 80% of the time, followed by her changeup. That drop ball, again, forces a lot of ground balls to the infield.
Delivers strike 1 to Mary Iacopo. Wisz and McMillan going down quickly in this inning. Iacopo trying to get something going with 2 outs, which the Bandits have been effective with. Made it real interesting last night in the 7th inning. Had the winning run on first base. Vawter was able to close the door. 9th pitch of this inning coming. 1 strike away from retiring the side, and she does. A Vawter, good morning.
It was a quick inning, exactly what the Blaze needed. They bring in her in relief, and she paints the outside corner with the drop.
And grateful for the journey that's taken me this far, and I'm happy to be here and happy to play for AU myself.
1-0 Blaze over the Bandits. Top of the 3rd, trying to extend that lead. 3 hits off L Kilfoyl. The big one was the home run by Newland. Kilfoyl looking to put up another 0 here for the Bandits, looking for their 10th win of the season. Out in left field, there's Bella Dayton. She's from Wiley, Texas. Started her college career at Arizona, a couple seasons there, then 3 Women's College World Series with Texas. In her 3 years there, just kept getting better and better. We have Bella joining us now live in the field. Take me back to the Women's College World Series final. Were you on edge watching Texas and Texas Tech?
I wasn't on edge. I mean, I had full belief that we have been to the Champ Series so many times that it was bound to happen to take it all. So, I mean, obviously they went to 3 games, so that was kind of nerve-wracking, but I was confident that they were going to win it all.
Aubrey Leach leading off the inning for the Blaze against Kilfoyl. Popped up and playable for Wisz. 1 out.
Bella, this is your first season playing with Athletes Unlimited. What have been your takeaways at this point in the season?
Just the atmosphere and my team. I mean, we came out and our goal was just to play the game as we do, win together and lose together. And I think that, you know, once we were all on the same page, it made our bond super strong. So, I mean, I came in feeling so comfortable, and the people around me, even the ones that had been here for a while, made me feel super comfortable. So I was able to just play my game free, and that's what I love the most.
Danielle Gibson Horton at the plate, jumps ahead 2-0. Bella, when you take us back to draft night. You get to the final round, you're still sitting there on the board, and then pick 46 out of 48 comes up, you hear your name called. Like, what was going through your mind, though, when that final round came around?
It was so nerve-wracking just because I think my TV was behind everybody else's, so I started getting calls and texts, and I was so confused at the moment, and then it finally came on my TV, so I was even more just intense and just like confused because everybody else was just super happy and I was still waiting.
Certainly made the most of it. Strike one to Anna Gold.
Bella, you use that word intense, and I feel like that's a word that you could describe just you and how you play the game. Like, where does your intensity and that deep passion come from for you?
I don't know. I grew up around brothers, so like winning as a sibling was always something that I felt like always had to happen, especially being the only girl. So just the winning mentality of always beating my brothers just translated over to the field, and I think feeling calm and super content with myself and how I play the game is what helps my team and just the aura around them.
Well, Bella, quick inning. We appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Bella.
Yeah.
Bella Dayton conjured up a 1-2-3 inning for the Bandits.
Marshall means so much to me. It's a place that I literally grew up. I grew as a player, I grew as a person, and to be able to coach there now and still represent them is a blessing. Being the head coach for my alma mater is so cool. I get to continue to grow the program in a different role now and bring players along who care about Marshall and Huntington, West Virginia and the special things we can do there. And I want to give athletes those experiences that I had that put me in the position to be here today.
Morgan Zerkle is going to have the first hit in AUSL history.
Balancing being a head coach and a professional softball player can be tough at times, but when you love it as much as I do, there's no place I'd rather be. I want to be on a field all the time. I want to either be making myself better or someone else better, and it's easy when you love it.
For the inaugural 2025 season, the Athletes Unlimited Softball League is teaming up with Coach Across America to spotlight the power of coaches. Through powerful stories from the mentors who shaped our athletes to the players now leading from the dugout, we're showing how one coach can change everything. Morgan Zerkle put her name in the history books with the first ever hit in AUSL history. Bella Dayton beats that out for an infield single to turn the lineup back over to Zerkle.
And a lot of fans and people don't realize that being a professional softball player that they also have other jobs that they're balancing at the same time. A lot of these players are college coaches like Morgan Zerkle, who now we just heard from and is coming to the plate here. So it's especially in the summer when that is prime recruiting time for these college coaches to go to travel ball tournaments in June, July, at the beginning of August to recruit some players that rely heavily on the rest of their staff to help out and spread that time out.
Zerkle led Marshall to a second place finish in the Sun Belt this year. That gets through into right field. Dayton has eyes for third, and it's first and third, nobody out.
Such a quick inning by Vawter, who came in relief of Ocasio in that second inning. You could tell that the Bandits are hunting early against her. Now in back-to-back innings, she's out here. That's an elevated drop ball, more up, not actually well struck. I think Danielle just did not, over at first base, didn't get a great read off at the bat, so Dayton going to see that ball behind her and go first to third with her speed. You're at a place in the order right now for the Bandits. It's very athletic, so Dayton, Zerkle, Wallace, and Coffel all have good speed, especially Dayton, Zerkle, and Wallace.
See if Zerkle's in motion quickly here or not. Skylar Wallace at the plate. Zerkle goes, throw down, cut off. Second and third for Wallace.
But it goes back what we were talking about last inning when Vawter came in relief of Ocasio. Ocasio threw one inning. We thought, okay, is Vawter just going to throw an inning and they're going to go to the next pitcher? it's hard. She had such a quick inning. Like, was that going to be the game plan, that they go to her just for an inning? And she had that quick inning and it looked great. They bring her back out there. But I would like to think maybe there's going to be a quick hook here for Vawter and just really utilize all 5 pitchers in this game for the Blaze to try to get a win.
It's ball 2 to Wallace. Skylar 2 for 4 last night. Her and Zerkle were 0 for in the first games this week on Monday, which is a rarity. Zerkle made up for it with 4 hits yesterday and 3 RBIs. Wallace made up for it with 2 hits yesterday. Scored twice and drove in 1 herself. Outside ball 3, full count. Wallace fouled that off her leg. Ooh. Let's check in with Savannah.
Well, this is the first time we've seen the Bandits on any sort of losing skid, and Skylar Wallace told me that they're focused on urgency and intent. This is a team that doesn't panic. We've seen their chemistry, they get along, but she says they're missing that piece right now in their offense of just having that sense of let's punch back, let's score first, and move the momentum back their way, and it's been their focus coming out of last night's loss.
They had that late chance. Wallace actually in a similar situation with runners on first and second, singled on the infield to load the bases for Aaron Coffel with just 1 out. Wallace would have been the winning run standing at first. You see these last 3 games, 5 runs scored versus 10 over the previous 4-game stretch, but they had won all 4. Wallace off the handle. Leach gonna go to first. Probably a wise decision with the speedster Dayton.
It's good execution by Wallace. Not a well-struck ball, but runner at third base, less than 2 outs. Hit a ground ball to the right side, easily going to be able to score Dayton with speed. Leach thought about it, but nope, too much speed. Just gets the out at 1, and the Bandits tie up this game. Showed the offensive numbers, and Savannah mentioned about punching back. And honestly, I felt like the Bandits did that yesterday. They scored 10 runs, but in the past 3 games on this 3-game losing streak, their ERA is close to 9 for their pitching staff. So not quite getting the shutdown innings that they need from their pitchers. That's really where they need to be able to punch back. And what we've seen so far with L Kilfoyl is putting up zeros on the board against this hot Blaze offense.
You know, if you're Elena Vawter and this Blaze pitching staff, likely going to have to keep this to 2 or 3 runs. L Kilfoyl not one to give up bunches.
I mean, I kind of liked our idea of just pitching 1 inning for all the different pitchers. You have Aaliyah Binford, who was just selected from the reserve pool, and Kaylani Ricketts, who just got off of the IL, and then Emma Lemley.
Going home to try and get Zerkle, and they got her. Nice play at shortstop by Anna Gold. That's a big out right there.
It's a big out, and really everything has to go right. And the Bandits are an aggressive base running team, especially with their speed. So if you're watching from home thinking, well, why is she running on just a ground ball to the infield? Well, that's the Bandits' MO. They like to have aggressive base running. They have the speed to do it. They lead the league in stolen bases because of that speed and athleticism. They put pressure on the defense to make plays.
2 outs. Nichols Camarena fouls it straight back, strike 1.
Tag by Kowalik, and every time it's a hold your breath situation to see if the catcher is going to put herself in an obstruction position at home, but she stayed clear of that and made the clean play.
One count to Bubba. Entered the week hitting .237. Has 3 home runs. You always know the big swings in play when she's at the plate. Falls behind 1-2. Assistant coach at her alma mater, UCLA. She was a GA last year there, All-American in 2019 for the Bruins. Look at that national championship team. UCLA was the last team to win it prior to this year other than Oklahoma. They won it in 19, then OU rattled off the four-peat. Texas finally changed things this year. Back to Vawter. The Blaze will take it. Just one run across against Elena Vawter. We'll keep tracking that pitching plan for the Blaze today, but through 3 innings, we're tied at 1 each.
Because she is such a great role model and gives so much back to this sport. I'm so excited that the next generation of softball players are able to see their own legends play in the AUSL. We have some of those future softball superstars here.
Top of the 4th, 1 run apiece, 3 hits apiece. This is a much different field than last night when it was 9-8 after 3 innings and finished 12-10. Warmer day today in Rosemont. This is what we have upcoming. 1 more game today, 2 Eastern, Volts and Talons right here on this field. And then we break Omaha for the Bandits and the Talons, a meeting of the top 2 teams in the league. The Blaze and the Volts head west for Seattle to play at the University of Washington. A 3-game series that's been sold out for weeks now. I think over a month it's been sold out.
It's a beautiful field right there on the lake, right behind left field.
There's some important people up there. On the left, that's Jenny Dalton-Hill, the Bandits general manager. Kim Ng sitting next to her. And then to the right of Kim, Dana Sorensen, general manager of the Blaze.
So we've been traveling since second week of June for the AUSL season, the inaugural season. We've been traveling to all different places, and we'll continue to do so in the second half, coming off of a 2-week break. Find yourself right here in Rosemont for several games where all 4 teams are here, but usually kind of spread out all over the country. So where else have we been? We've started out here in Rosemont. We got to go to Sulphur, Louisiana, Wichita, Kansas for several games, Chattanooga, Tennessee, Norman, Oklahoma. Got to play at beautiful Loves Field, probably the best softball facility in the country, one of the best in the world. Been all over.
10 different spots that we will travel to in this inaugural season. I believe it's 12 by the end of the summer if you include the All-Star Cup, which is the original format for Athletes Unlimited that started back in 2020, that leaderboard style format. Kat Osterman was the first ever Athletes Unlimited champion. It's the individual side of things. Kat now the general manager of the Volts. So 1-2 from Kilfoyl to Kowalik, who continues to fight off pitches.
Been all over the place. It's been a barnstorming tour several weeks in. We have more places to visit. These are all the places that we've either been or will go. Salt Lake City included in that. We'll go to Austin, Texas next week. Love it. And it's worth mentioning, we had a new broadcast partner in Norman, Oklahoma when we were there with the one and only, the legendary Patty Gasso, head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, multi-time national champion, one of the best to ever do it. I mean, it's on a resume at this point. She was our broadcast partner. I don't know why I use past tense. I'm gonna continue to put that in present tense.
Busy summer for her, leading Team USA in the training camp recently, and then she gets her first taste as the head coach of Team USA in just over a month. They'll go to China for the World Games.
A lot of these players will be there playing for her and playing together, representing the United States in early August.
2-2 in this long at bat to start the inning to Kowalik. Finally pops up and playable for A Ocasio behind the plate. 1 out.
The second time through the order, Lexi has handled the left-handed hitters much better, working her drop ball a little bit further on the inside corner to them. First time through the order, all of the lefties reached base. Second time through, starting with Otis, both lefties and righties have been shut down against her. Great adjustments.
She's retired 7 straight now. And 9 of the last 11, or excuse me, 9 of the last 10 batters who have come to the plate.
Yeah, after that home run, Allie Newland hit a solo home run that she hit in the second. It's just been out after out, put together by Kilfoyl. Righties have not been successful against her, and that's what we looked at coming in, is that lefties hitting over 100 points higher off of Lexi Kilfoyl than the righties. Righties just 245 in that batting average against going down with that 0 for 8 so far today.
Mackenzie Clark, part of that, popped up her first time at the plate to the shortstop.
I can't believe that we have a 1-1 game and just how different this is compared to when these two teams met in the 4-game series in Wichita.
Ground ball gets through. We did the math before. I think it was 16 runs per game on average between these two teams.
That's a lot. Big time offensive numbers. Good swing there by Clark, seeing that pitch down and barreling it up hard right back up the middle of the field for a 2-out single. We were just talking about how good she had been since that home run, and Clark breaks up the streak of outs.
These two teams, this is game number 6. They played 5 full games prior to this. 79 runs combined.
Goodness. I mean, it was like in yesterday's game too. There was scoring in each half inning until we got to, I think, the 5th?
Bottom of the 4th.
Bottom of the 4th. Close enough.
And had 3 straight there. The last 4 innings were played 3-2.
It's like one half was one way, and then the second half was a completely different way.
A 9-run second inning, 5 for the Blaze, 4 for the Bandits.
This is Allie Newland up, who hit that solo home run, and her last hit bat off of Kilfoyl. We'll see how she pitches today. And Blaze at the bottom of the league in terms of number of home runs. The Bandits and the Talons are at the top in terms of that power production, but past 2 games, they had a solo shot from Corby Otis and then a solo shot for Allie Newland today, who just strokes one again.
Newland, this could score a run here. All the way to the wall, it is going to score a run. Clark's got plenty of speed. She's going to cruise into home and give the Blaze the lead. Look at Allie Newland right now.
Another good swing. The off-speed pitch. Down, and Allie Newland just has the swing path built for pitches down in the zone. She stays deep into her legs and drives the ball, and with the speed of Clark, she's easily going to be able to score. The Blaze, it's a fitting name for their team because they are second in the league in stolen bases. They have some speed and athleticism too, and Allie Newland just continues to stay hot, her second RBI of the game.
Kaitlin Harding takes the first pitch inside. Harding having some serious struggles at the plate this year. Hasn't seen a ton of action. This is after last summer. She played in 25 games, hit 5 home runs, drove in 24 RBIs. She had 9 RBIs in a game last year in that condensed AUX leaderboard style season. 9 RBIs in a game. They lost.
Tying her up in these plate appearances. Looks like she backed a little bit off the plate, feeling that these inside pitches that Kilfoyl is throwing her. And she paints the outside corner, of course, after that. Good pitching, good idea. And Kaitlin Harding's like, ugh, dang it, I knew that was going to come. But they have thrown her hard in, and she just can't get her barrel to these inside pitches. And they're throwing her off the plate, too, and she's chasing those pitches about 2 or 3 balls off.
2-2.
It's another inside pitch. I mean, these pitches that she's swinging at inside, and granted, you have that 2-strike mentality, you have to protect anything that's close, but she's chasing that pitch even with no strikes or 1 strike. Just not seeing inside pitches well. And let's see if Kilfoyl goes to something different.
popped up Wisz in the first base line to make the catch for out number 3. Allie Newland coming through again, an RBI double to put the Blaze on top.
Bandits with a chance to battle back here as we're moving through their lineup. Delaney Wisz on deck, and she has a standing relationship with head coach Stacy Newman-Denise. She was her assistant coach at San Diego State, and Coach Newman told her it's been neat this season to see you in compete mode. She'd never seen this side of her. Often Delaney would hop in at practice and get some defensive reps, but this season has been a different look between the two. Delaney talked about how Coach Newman's just somebody that's so easy to create a relationship and trust with because she's so observational. She got to see that side of her as 2 coaches on the same staff, now player coaches here on the Bandits this season.
I think it's a totally different mindset, Savannah, and I go back to just thinking about my own story and how competitive that I am, and it's like people saw me on the field and I think saw me as one way, and you see me off the field and think that girl's not competitive, like, but internally I'm super competitive. Thanks, Bryant. So I could totally relate to Stacy Newman-Denise, seeing that about Delaney Wisz and get to see her in a uniform, in compete mode, going hard, and just kind of get to see a different side of her than what she saw as a coach coaching with her, which I'm sure she was competitive there too, but just in a different way. When you're coaching, it's different than when you're playing.
He always looks laser focused. She's had some big moments, clutch moments for the Bandits this season, including a walk-off base hit in Sulphur against the Volts. So McKinney with plenty of speed after the bunt single is aboard with nobody out for Delaney Wisz. Ground ball left side, past the glove of Klingler into left field. And the first 2 runners reach against a new pitcher out there for the Blaze. They keep the quick changes coming. This is the rookie Aaliyah Binford out of Ole Miss. We saw her debut yesterday, got the start, went 1 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 5 earned. She left the game, having given up just 2, but left with the bases loaded. And those runs ended up coming around to score. What did you think of her debut, though, yesterday?
I thought for not pitching in a game for a while that she looked really good, changed speeds well, and threw a lot of strikes, and was pretty efficient. Just kind of got her feet wet yesterday, which is important to give her confidence coming into today's game. And that last hit off the bat of Wisz, I just feel for her in the Blaze, because if that was at any other part of the field, I feel like it could have been a potential double play.
This will not be hit too slowly by McMillan, so it basically works as a sacrifice to put 2 in scoring position. You said Aaliyah Binford got her feet wet yesterday. Literally got her feet wet yesterday. It was pouring down rain for the first, what, 2 innings that she, I mean...
The only 2 innings that she pitched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was definitely an uphill battle for her. We saw the grip be a real problem for both pitchers early in that game.
She's a competitor and she's a fighter. Good spot there with her location. Get to work drop ball and change up down the zone. Mixes speeds like crazy. Bandits have an opportunity here. 2 runners in scoring position. A chance to answer right back to that run that the Blaze put up in the 4th.
Iacopo swinging. Binford looks the runner back. A little bit of a low throw, but a nice play by Binford for out number 2.
Just a lot of soft contact here, and it's the Blaze find themselves with 2 runners in scoring position with Binford, but there hasn't been some hard hits against her. It's that beautiful bunt laid down by McKinney that got things going, and then a ball just placed on the left side by Wisz that hitters reach, but a lot of contact off the end of the bat with her drop and change. And you get a really good athlete in Aaliyah Binford. You saw her make that play, field her position on her own confidently, not look to my third baseman, have this ball, my first baseman. No, she will field the position on her own. She's a great athlete. Not only can she pitch, she's a great hitter too.
If not for Newland being who she is right now at the plate, swinging such a great bat, I think Aaliyah Binford might be in that 8-hole.
At least you have an option with her. Smaller rosters, 16 on the roster. When you get a pitcher hitter like Aaliyah Binford or like Rachel Garcia, who is on the Volts, like an Alicia Ocasio also on the Blaze, we have several of those options in the AUSL. You get a couple of different options with them, ways to use them.
Dayton into left center field. Bounces off the wall, brings in two. Dayton's into second. A big swing for Bella Dayton, her second hit of the day.
By far the best hit ball in this inning for the Bandits. Dayton gets a couple of RBIs on a pitch that is hanging 78 miles an hour off the bat. When you're in that upper 70s, low 80s, that is a high exit velocity for a game. And she finds a gap and gives the Bandits the lead. Bella Dayton from the 9-hole.
Zerkle fouls off the first pitch. Those runs were unearned. That was an error that Delaney Wisz reached on earlier in this inning.
How about the home runs that Morgan Zerkle has hit already this season? 5. Leading the league in home runs with that 5. When she was at Marshall, she had a school record at batting average, career batting average, .451. Known for more of her speed and hitting for average.
Grounds out to first base. Back and forth we go. The Bandits answer with 2 runs, and they lead it 3-2 after 4.
She's striking the pose, and looking good. A round of applause for all of our Hawks in the house here today.
3-2, 5 combined runs, 10 combined hits. Top of the 5th we go. L Kilfoyl still out there for the Bandits, and back in front. Bella Dayton coming up big with the 2 RBI double. Wind is really picking up here in Rosemont. We're used to this. It was kind of still last night. It was a little eerie for people who have called a lot of games here and know that those flags are usually whipping around somewhere.
Yeah, it's changed since earlier today, too. It was blowing just a little bit out. Now it's blowing hard in, and it's going to serve as the 10th defender out there for the defenses.
Good spot in the order for the Blaze to answer back. Corby Otis, 1, 2, 3 coming up. She is 0 for 2. And the top 4 in this order are just a combined 1 for 6 with a walk and a single. One for 7. Blaze have not had a leadoff runner reach base in the game. They've scored 1 in 2 separate innings, the 2nd and the 4th. Kilfoyl with the strikeout, her 3rd, and the last time she struck somebody out was Otis.
Second baseman, number 75.
That pitch was so nasty. Drop ball inside, stays a little bit up, runs a little bit in. Whew, that's a good pitch. First time that we've seen Lexi Kilfoyl since coming back from the break, so took over 2 weeks off since we saw her last in Wichita.
She spent the year back at Oklahoma State. It's a GA there for Kenny Gajewski. Really good about allowing her to kind of sneak out of meetings every once in a while, go get a bullpen in. Much different perspective for Lexi, though. Wants to play overseas. Wants to go to Japan and play in the Japan Diamond League.
She just finished getting her master's at Oklahoma State.
Line drive, diving stop by Wallace.
Ball ball was just trying to make its way through the infield past McKinney and not past Skylar Wallace. Good read, and Aubrey Leach bummed about that. Thought that was going to be a hit all day, but good athleticism by Wallace. And good defense by the Bandits today. Something that looked a little bit off yesterday and the day before. In the 3-game losing streak, they've committed 6 errors. 4 of them came in the game yesterday.
Gibson Horton pops it up. Could be a quick one for Kilfoyl, who wants it herself. And little basket catch there for Lexi Kilfoyl. All smiles with her catcher, Mary Iacopo.
Hi, I'm Skylar Wallace, infielder with the Bandits, and this is my player profile. Right now, my favorite TikTok trend is probably the dance that I've been doing, or the one that's like, we can make arrangements. I think my perfect day off would look like sleeping in a little bit, getting some rest, some beauty sleep, getting some movement in, and then just hanging out, having fun with my friends. I think what interests me about learning about the brain is there's just so many things that go into having a thought. How you perceive things, how you look at things, how you read things, how you take that knowledge and memorize it is different to every single person. It's just so crazy that everyone is so similar but yet so different. And that's a wrap.
We talk about how hard of a worker that Skylar Wallace is. Remember, she started her career at Alabama and then transferred to Florida. And when asked who is a mentor or coach in your life who has made a difference, one of the people that she mentioned is Tim Walton, the head coach of the Florida Gators, who she said in her own words, gave me the opportunity to fall back in love with the game and train harder than I ever have. Helped teach her to be a great leader and communicate. She's just really grown rapidly. I felt like ever since she got to Florida, she just grew and developed every single year. And works really hard.
One of the things Tim Walton talked about with this year's Florida team was not just replacing the player that Skylar Wallace was, which is probably not going to happen, but the leadership that she brought to the table. Wallace to right field. Foul territory and a long run for Harding, who makes the catch.
Another Florida connection is Aaron Coffel, who was on the support staff with the Florida Gators this past season and also learned a lot from Tim Walton. She attributes a lot to her game defensively. She can play really any position on the infield, finds herself at second base with the Bandits, and learned a lot from Coach Walton. He knows a lot about all facets of the game, pitching, defense, and hitting, of course, but it just always seems like the Gators have a good defensive team. It's because all the attention to detail that Coach Walton spends working his defenders.
The Bandits as a whole, just such a diverse team, so balanced. A lot of players that can do a lot of different things. We talked about Delaney Wisz, plays both corner infield spots. She can catch if you need her to. Bubba Nichols-Camarena, I think you'd be comfortable with her in all 3 outfield positions. We've seen her in left and right this year. Coffel, as you mentioned. Sydney McKinney probably could play 3 of the infield spots. And then Devin Netz, who is the one that gives them the 6th arm in the circle, who's not in the lineup today, but typically either DPing, playing first, or pitching. Oh, man, see you later. That is smoked by Coffel. Her 4th of the year, some insurance for the Bandits.
RBI number 20 of the season for Aaron Coffel. He just is able to turn on this inside pitch quickly, gets her barrel out in front, and has just been punishing pitches. And what's so impressive about Aaron Coffel and the way that she leads the league in slugging percentage is that she can drive the ball here to the left side a mile, but then also her ability to take outside pitches to the right side, not trying to pull them, going with them, also leads the league and triples to help with that 1,200 slugging percentage that she has this season.
She is playing a different game right now. Camarena behind in the count 1-2. Binford trying to bounce back quickly. Still plenty of chances left for the Blaze in the 6th and 7th innings. Just Kilfoyl's been so good. Leach on a slow roller. Tough throw to handle for Gibson Horton, but she does. Let's go down to Savannah with Aaron Coffel.
Aaron, it seems like no matter the pitch, no matter the count or part of the field, you've been able to drive it this season. What was the deciding factor in that, AB?
I was just trying to stay loose and stay comfortable. I've been really comfortable on 2 strikes lately, so I kind of just stuck with that approach and good things happen.
What is that approach when you're in a 2-2 count and you're looking for something that you're able to hop on today? You know, you're looking for the right moments in this game to chip back in. What was the factor in that one?
I was just trying to get my barrel to the ball. I felt like I've gotten a couple missed hits my last 2 at bats, so I just went back to shortening things up a little bit, and I got the job done.
That'll do it. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
It was the 95th run scored by the Bandits. It's a league best. McKinney fooled on that pitch for strike 2. Aaron Coffel from Bremen, Indiana, played at Kentucky, a 3-time All-American, the program's first. We saw their head coach, Rachel Lawson, here a couple days ago watching Kowalik and Coffel go head-to-head.
I'm laughing because I do think that was just yesterday.
It was yesterday, that's right.
It all runs together. We've had quite a few games, and it was just yesterday, but I know that mindset.
Gold's got to be quick. That's a nice play at shortstop for out number 3. In my defense, it's like a 3-hour game yesterday.
Felt like 3 or 4 days ago, but Aaron Koffel's home run feels like it just happened a second ago, and it left the yard in like 0.2 seconds. Bandits have now scored 3 innings in a row.
Much different story today after a 22-run thriller yesterday. The Blaze have been really rotating their arms. 3 pitchers used in the first 5 innings. It's been effective, though, holding the Bandits to just 4 runs so far. There's 3 of those 4, all 4 of them coming in the last 3 innings after they were held scoreless in the first 2. And L Kilfoyl back out for her 6th inning of work. Throwing it really well right now. She'll see the heart of this order, 4, 5, and 6 here in this inning. Anna Gold leading off. She's 0 for 2. Kilfoyl has handled this game really well, but she has dominated the top 4 in this order.
You take Allie Newland out of the equation, and I'm not sure if the Blaze would have any runs because of the way that she's pitched. Top of the order that was so hot in yesterday's game, and they put up 17 runs, and 10 of the hits came from the top 4 in the order.
Newland, Blaze are going to be hoping that when she comes to the plate, either this inning or next, that there's some ducks on the pond for her. Another 0-2 to Gold, off speed, just missed. What would you have looked at first after the draft? Like when you got drafted in this league, would you have looked at the other pitchers on the team, or would you have looked at the hitters that you're like, glad I don't have to face them, that are on your team?
Ooh, good question. Yeah. I think I would have looked at the other pitchers on my team first.
I saw L Kilfoyl throw that 3 pitches ago now, and it was kind of painted the corners, that off-speed pitch, and kind of looked around the infield. They were all smiling. I just think, I wonder if they ever think, God, I'm really glad we don't have to hit off of Lexi Kilfoyl.
Definitely they think that. Remember the Bandits, too, a team that have 6 pitchers on their team. They have the most out of any of the teams, and it seems like that's really helped them, especially in the first part of the season. All their pitching plans pretty much went to plan in that first half. Whoever they said was going to start, they got the start. It seemed like the relief pitchers that came in did their job, and even if it wasn't a great start, the relief pitcher came in and got shutdown innings to help them go 9-3 in that first half of the season.
Oh, just fighting off pitch after pitch right now, whether it's on the inner half, on the outer half.
Well, and you know that when it comes down to it, Chucky, they're going to be using Lexi Kilfoyl if they end up making it to the Champ Series a lot. And so they've been able to not put all of the innings on her. They could use her a lot more than they have up to this point, I'm sure, but they want to be able to use his 5 other pitchers, get them some practice, give her some time in the circle and develop them. And also, most importantly, I think just give her some rest so that she can feel rested down the stretch when it is the biggest games.
Three-two count and the 10th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. The magic number 16. That's what Caroline Jacobson got to last night in that at-bat. And Kilfoyl wins it on the 10th pitch with Wallace underneath it. 1 out. The AUSL is partnered with Rebel Girls, a global empowerment brand dedicated to raising the most inspired and confident generation of girls. Check out Rebel Girls on YouTube as junior reporters recap the AUSL season.
Snacking, just taking in a softball game on a Wednesday during the day. Love it.
When was your first taste of a broadcast, or like even thinking you wanted to do it?
So I was hurt my freshman year at A&M for the Big 12 tournament, and they had me up as a guest interview in the booth with Tracy Warren. And that was probably when I first was like, hey, this is kind of cool. This is different. I was in the booth while our team was playing because I was injured, but that's when I got my first taste of it as a freshman due to an injury. So injuries have really actually served me well in my life and put me on a different path.
I guess we're glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here. Dream job for sure. I love getting to do this.
1-2 from Kilfoyl to Kowalik. Hard hit, and Wallace a vacuum at shortstop today.
At the right place at the right time a couple of times towards that 5-6 hole.
Third baseman, number 3, Bailey Klingler.
Skylar Wallace had 1 ball hit to her in the first 4 innings. She's had 3 in the last 2 now. The line shot from Leach in the 5th. The pop-up to start this inning, and now that line drive. Off speed for strike 1 to Klingler. Lexi Kilfoyl looking to go 1-2-3 in back-to-back innings and do so for the 3rd time in this game.
Oh, this is what we talked about at the beginning of the show. Bandits losing 3 in a row, trying to avoid 4. They have their ace in the circle going up against a hot Blaze offense, and she's been able to shut them down, with the exception of Allie Newland in the 8th spot. And made adjustments. The lefties, remember, first time through were reaching against her, that had a good approach. They were hitting the ball hard, drawing walks, like Aubrey Leach did in the first. And after that home run to Allie Newland, the 2nd time through the order, It's been all Lexi Kilfoyl shutting down pretty much everybody except for Allie Newland.
The 0-2, hard hit on the ground. Coffel, nice play at second base. We had 1-2-3 inning yesterday. Today, Lexi Kilfoyl has 3 on her own. The Athletes Unlimited Softball League is sponsored by Mizuno. Summer camp day at the ballpark?
Miss field trips and just living the best life in the summer. You don't have school, you get to be outside with your friends, you're not worrying about homework, just worrying about having fun. And these kids get to come out and watch these great games at the ballpark, sold out crowd. A lot of littles running around.
Some of us were never worried about homework.
Some of us.
A Vawter re-enters, saw her for 2 innings in the second and third, gave up 1 run before she was replaced in the fourth by Leah Binford, who gave up 1 earned run, 3 total. Vawter trying to keep the Bandits' bats quiet and give her team one last chance. In the 7th inning, she'll see Wisz, McMillan, A Ocasio in this 6th frame.
Vawter trying to keep the score exactly where it's at so that the Blaze have a chance in that 7th inning. Try to tie it up or take the lead, see what they can do with their sticks. They'll have the bottom of the order coming up. I'm sure that we're saving Emma Lemley to see if they tie it in the 7th or if they take the lead. They would bring her in, the rookie from Virginia Tech, which would be the 4th different pitcher that we would see in today's game.
Depending on today's results, that Seattle series, really, somebody's season could be on the ropes pretty big time with the Volts and the Blaze. The bottom 2 matching up in Seattle. Was fouled right off of Kowalik's mask. She's gonna walk it off for a second.
Stacey Duvman-Denise too is really locked in and checking on her, clapping that she's okay. One of the best catchers in the history of our sport over in the third base coach's box. Head coach for the Bandits, Olympian, and head coach for San Diego State.
She was the youngest on that 2000 Olympic team. Wisz to left field. Otis is there for the first out. McMillan, she's still really looking to get going too. Just 3 hits on the season. She's been out of the lineup for the Bandits. Was a starter to begin the year and has kind of been more of a reserve role for her since Bella Dayton's been so good. First pitch swinging there. Quick out for Vawter.
The catcher, number 92,
Nice chance in the 6th as Mary Iacopo 0 for 2 at the plate. Got the start today in place of Jordan Roberts, who has been the regular everyday starter, into right field. The last 2 batters on 2 pitches. This is very different than what we saw yesterday. One last chance for the Blaze.
Blaze with a last chance scenario here. We've talked about their all hands on deck mentality. You know they're going to be tapping into that right now. And they've also really tapped into how they are using the reserve player pool. They've had a big impact on this team. Allie Newland and Allie Shipman both having 3 starts. We've seen Hope Trotwine Valdespino, Aaliyah Binford yesterday getting the start in the circle, and they have had to use a lot of different athletes this season. But Coach Goller told me that the way that they are able to step into these games, have impact, have effectiveness, is it attributes to how well this team welcomes people in. They build up confidence and comfortability quickly. And she says that's not us as a coaching staff. That's who this team is.
We talked about that a little bit as Clark reaches to start this 7th inning to bring the tying run to the plate in the form of Allie Newland. This is not a team who has looked like they've been upset. They've not hung their heads. The body language stayed positive. You talk to them, they're upbeat. That's why they're competing like they have the last couple days.
Like Elisa Goller did a little left-hand arm circle there toward the dugout, maybe getting Kaylani Ricketts, the lefty on staff, loose. Talked about Emma Lemley, but Kaylani Ricketts fresh off of the IL. And it's another reason that they had to pull some pitchers from the reserve pool is because Carly Hoover has been on the IL and Kaylani Ricketts.
Pitching change for the Bandits. Newland will not see Kilfoyl for a 3rd time. But it's going to be...
Or maybe Goller was just saying to the dugout, we have a new pitcher coming in, and she was just using her left hand.
When you said that, I was thinking maybe she was saying Taylor was coming in. Taylor McMillan, the lefty, because she's pitched in every game against the Blaze this year. But it's going to be Odyssey Alexander instead. Alexander came in relief yesterday against the Blaze to replace Sarah Willis. Gave up 7 hits over 2 innings, 5 runs. Just one of them was earned, though. Odyssey has been on the wrong side of a couple relief appearances. Overall, she's had a fantastic season, but she did give up a walk-off home run to Charlize Palacios with the Talons a couple weeks ago. Save situation for Odyssey. It would be her first of the season. She's thrown just under 18 innings this year, an ERA under 3. A great bounce-back year for her after she struggled last summer following up her 2023 individual championship season in the All-Star Cup format. Lexi Kilfoyl in line for the win.
Yeah, and you're right to think about Taylor McMillan, too, not only because she has pitched a lot against the Blaze, but she's also the only pitcher with saves for the Bandits. So Odyssey coming in, looking for her first save of the season. Only 2 saves on the Bandits pitching staff. Both of them are from the lefty, Taylor McMillan, who just came out to give her the pitch calm.
She is contributing to this save, potentially.
Pitch calm is that wristband that the pitchers will oftentimes wear around the wrist, or Odyssey's actually going to put it around her glove, but the defenders wear it as well as the catcher who's calling pitches, and it comes through the electronic communication device that they have on their wrist to call pitches.
First pitch outside to Newland. 2 for 2, a solo home run off Kilfoyl and an RBI double. She's produced both of the runs for the Blaze in this game. A runner on first with a lot of speed in Clark, who scored last time Newland drove in a run. This is to left, but doesn't have enough. 1 out.
Big out there with how hot Allie Newland has been. And with where they're at in the order. So top of the order, likely to come up. No double play turned.
No better time than right now for Kaitlin Harding to pick up her first hit of the year.
Scooting even further off of the plate, knowing that Odyssey Alexander likes to throw inside.
There it is, Harding to left! Her first of the season is a home run to tie it at 4. And she got the pitch you're talking about.
They've been working her inside, where Kaitlin Harding started was basically with her heels against the back chalk of the batter's box. Lisa Goller, the head coach, pumped with that little bit of a smile, knowing that this adjustment was made. They had been working her in. She'd gotten jammed hard in. 2 balls off the plate, swinging at balls that were off the plate. But this time she connects, makes the adjustment on the inside pitch to tie up this game. Oh, that feels so good for Kaitlin Harding and the Blaze. Somebody else contributes, picks up Allie Newland, who has had this team's back early. And then Harding from the 9-hole, bottom of the order, getting it done for the Blaze today.
7 through 9 hitters hitting 5 for 9. They've scored all 4 runs. Kilfoyl can only look on.
Kind of a questionable change, Chucky. I know that Stacey Newman-Denise likes to get ahead of pitching changes before teams get on her pitchers, and she really has a good feel for that. But Lexi Kilfoyl was throwing so well. First hit that was against her in a couple innings to lead off this inning, but it really wasn't even well struck by Clark.
Now the question is, can she keep it where it is and give the Bandits a chance to win it? How many times have we seen the Blaze do this? Make a comeback, be in a game late. Can they close it out, though? That's the question. Slow roller from Otis. McKinney takes care of her. Let's go down to Savannah with Kaitlin Harding.
Kaylee, Amanda was just talking about the adjustment in the booth, getting jammed up inside and finally having that breakthrough moment. What were the conversations that led to it?
Yeah, I think just keep trusting it was the biggest thing for me. It's easy to get in your head when things are going your way, but just keep trusting it, keep working on it, and just dial it up a little bit. I felt like I was a little late on some pitches, so I feel like I just needed to dial it up, and that was my biggest key.
Thanks, Kaylee. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
First hit of the season for Kaitlin Harding. 2-run home run to tie this game. 2 outs for Aubrey Leach against Odyssey Alexander.
Two home runs that the Blaze have hit in this game, and both of them have been on the first pitch of the at-bats. And how about just a slew of home runs coming all of a sudden for the Blaze? Otis had one yesterday, 2 in this game, so 3. They had 7 total home runs the entire first half in 12 games.
(3-2). This is not someone you want to let go here with a lot of speed. And Danielle Gibson Horton standing behind her, who's one of the best power hitters on this Blaze roster, doubles and home runs. Leach reached for that, but it's going to work. Swing or not, she was going to be on first base. It's probably ball 4, but it works out for Aubrey Leach. Gibson Horton gets her chance. One for 3 on the day with a single. Swinging first pitch way out in front. Falls behind 0-2. It'll be a great chance for the Bandits in the bottom of this inning. 9-1-2. Dayton, Zerkle, Wallace are due up. The other big question is, what did the Blaze do in the circle? Is it going to be A Vawter? Do they make another change?
It's a mystery. Let's see what they do. I don't know. I would bring out, I just like the way that Lemley is throwing, so I kind of lean more toward her way. We've seen a lot of down ball pitchers from the Blaze today, so giving them a different look with her rise ball.
So you'd go Lemley?
I would go Lemley.
Okay. Writing it down.
It's hard to see the bullpen, but I have not seen her in the bullpen.
Gibson Horton indecisive, and she goes down on strikes. We're tied up.
And it doesn't matter if you're watching a Little League game, a college game, or a pro game. This is so cool. First hit of the season for Kaitlin Harding. It ties up this game in the 7th, back against the wall, and Kaitlin Harding steps up.
Kaitlin Harding, the reason we are here in the bottom of the 7th inning, a 2-run home run to tie this game at 4 apiece. Competitive games between these two teams in their last handful of meetings, really. The Blaze trying to take 2 of the last 3 over the Bandits. This would be 4 straight losses if the Bandits aren't on the right side of this result. First pitch swinging for Bella Dayton. And Gold takes care of it. Good start for A Vawter, who remains out there. She came in earlier in the 2nd, went 1-2-3 through the 6, 7, 8 hitters. In the 3rd, faced 9-1-2. It's the same situation here. In the 6th inning when she came in, went 1-2-3, faces 9-1-2 again, but this is a better start without number 1.
Well, that's what is so unique about this league, is that even non-starters can come out of the game and re-enter back into the game. So you can see something like that where Vawter did not start and she comes out and can come back in. Usually in the college game, that's just with the starters who can re-enter back in.
Big swing by Zerkle to foul that off for strike 1. There were clearly some, you would imagine, some conversations with the Blaze and their approach with pitching entering the 2nd half. This is a different look than what we saw in the first half of the season, when you kind of saw pitchers, if you were out there, you were going to stay out there. Now they are making those changes a little more frequently, a much more staff approach, which you have to have in this league.
Almost kind of like when you watch an MLB game and it's a bullpen day, where one pitcher will start for 1 or 2 innings and then bring in the next, and you just use your entire staff. It's see if the Blaze just kind of end up continuing with this bullpen approach the rest of this season.
Ground ball left side gets through. The winning run is aboard.
Kind of a check swing, but still just good barrel control by Morgan Zerkle with 2 strikes to just protect that outside corner, just barely get to contact and shoot it to the left side. She's just been on fire this season. 9th
multi-hit game in the last 10. Monday snapped a 7 straight multi-hit game streak. Aubrey goes to 2nd, and they say she's out. They will challenge it immediately. This is a big call.
The Bandits are challenging the out call at 2nd base. Play is under further review.
Thought she was safe.
I don't know if you're changing it for either of the 2 looks we've seen, and I don't think this one. Ooh, she might be out.
Wow. Great stretch by Anna Gold. Look at how far out stretch she is to be able to get this out. No, I think she's safe.
I just think it's hard. The white batting gloves on the white base, you just can't see.
I know you can't see definitively. If I just like saw that and had to guess, I'd be like, okay, she was safe. But the question is, definitively, do you know 100% that her hand got to the bat before that ball was, the glove of Anna Gold was closing around the ball?
After review, the call at 2nd has been changed. Safe.
I'm a little surprised by that, just from a definitive standpoint.
It's a big play and call where we're at in this game. Now you have speed at 2nd base that helped make that play so close again. Everything goes back to the Bandits' speed offensively. And some of these games, not all the games, oftentimes they can rely on their power, but then you'll have some offensive games for them where they rely on their speed, can take extra bases, make close plays, put pressure on defense to be perfect.
Pitching change for Elisa Goller and company. So Vawter does get to start the inning. They have a quick hook for Emma Lemley, who you wanted to see right out of the gates. Vawter did get a quick out, so good start to this inning. Forces at every base. Lemley in a tough spot, though, with the winning run on second.
She looked really good in her outing yesterday. Had 5 strikeouts in 3 innings that she pitched. I gave it 3 hits. Some extended at bats too. Had through 68 pitches in 3 innings, and especially when she started her relief outing, there were quite a few longer at bats against her. But then she settled into the game and started to pile up the strikeouts. This curveball that she throws to right-handed hitters has just been her best swing and miss pitch, and where she can quickly get strikeouts, and then she'll throw her rise ball at multiple parts of the zone. She can throw it lower. That last strikeout that you saw was actually a rise ball. It has that back spin on it, but she can throw that rise ball anywhere from the knees to 2 or 3 feet above the batter's heads and still get swings and misses. Land that rise ball the most, 46% of the time. Almost 1 out of 2 pitches is going to be her rise ball that she can just climb the ladder with, and then throw that curve a lot alongside it. Oftentimes to right-handed hitters. We'll probably see it here against Coffel. It is her best movement pitch, in my opinion.
Koffel's already walked it off once this year for the Bandits. Takes strike 1. She has also already homered in this game. It's her 4th of the season. League leader with 20 RBIs. 1-1 count.
Back-to-back curveballs, and just it goes a little bit further outside with it to Coffel and does not get the call.
Wind blowing straight in.
I love that pitch right there. Erin Coffel has gotten hit by pitches a lot because when you go into her, you have to go hard in, and we saw that with her last plate appearance, just hitting that big-time home run with the wind blowing in.
Swings through that for strike 2.
Goodness. Go right back to it.
1 out. Winning run at second base. 2-2 from Lemley. Got her swinging.
A big out, and Erin Coffel has only struck out twice this entire season, and Lemley gets her with a runner in scoring position, game-winning run at second, best RBI hitter and power hitter, and is a big-time strikeout for the Rook.
Swing and a miss for Bubba Nichols-Camarena on the first pitch of the at-bat.
Curveball is dancing to these righties, right where she wants to be. She has a lot of success against right-handed hitters with that pitch.
In the air, shallow center. Clark has it. Wind pushing it in, and Clark makes the catch. We've got extras between the Blaze and the Bandits. Emma Lemley, job done. Four apiece. Blaze Bandits going to the 8th inning after what looked like it could potentially be the Bandits snapping a 3-game losing streak. Kaitlin Harding delivered a 2-run shot in the 7th to tie us at 4. Vawter and Lemley combining to hold the Bandits scoreless in the bottom of the 7th. The Bandits 1-0 in extra inning games. That came in Sulphur over the Volts. The Blaze 0-1. That came on opening day against the Volts in Wichita. The tiebreaker rule in effect. Danielle Gibson-Horton on second base. Both teams will start with their last recorded out from the previous inning on second. And we'll see how they play it. Anna Gold swinging away on the first pitch here. We were talking about who is coming up for these teams. Gold leads off for the Blaze. Sydney McKinney, the speedster lefty, leads off for the Bandits. Maybe a little bit better setup for the Bandits in this situation.
And Gold's been swinging the bat well, but I'm just old school. I want the sack bunt to move the runner over to third base because you just have so many different ways to score with the runner at third base in less than 2 outs. And then now look, all of a sudden you get one close call that doesn't go your way and you're down 0-2. And then a strikeout. I just believe in the sacrifice bunt, even with one of your best hitters, to advance that runner over to third base.
The catcher, number 99.
And it's just a different opinion, and head coach probably feels a little gut instinct of what to do in that moment too. But props to Odyssey for getting that quick out of Anna Gold.
Now Kowalik, the speedster, see if she can get on base. Fouls it away for strike one. You wonder too if they were a batter later, if it was Kowalik leading off. The lefty plays a little bit more small ball, if they would have played it differently based on who the batter was.
She's showing it now. I mean, she just has so many tools where even if she does put down a bunt, she has the speed to be able to reach safely to first base. The other thing about Anna Gold too is that she had popped up 3 times in this game. Oftentimes going to put the ball in the air, so even if she does make contact, it's likely going to be a non-productive out because of the fact that she put the ball in the air. I just would have bunted her.
Kowalik ahead 2-1. 3-1. Brings it in, and another foul ball from Kowalik. Kayla 1 for 3 today with an infield single, lined out to Wallace her last trip to the plate. This is the first time she's seen Odyssey today. 3-2, 1 away. Runner still on second base. And Kowalik walks.
Now this helps out your defense because you have a force at any base. So not worst case scenario for Odyssey to put Kayla Kowalik at first base. It takes a little bit of pressure off of your infield that there's a ball on the ground. You have a play at any base besides home.
Bailey Klingler just returned from a 4-game absence. Has a chance to give the Blaze a huge boost here. It's a long foul ball for strike one.
About to say, I bet she's going to be aggressive off of Odyssey.
One comes inside. Are you surprised that more of these righties haven't backed off the plate a little bit against Odyssey like we saw with Kaitlin Harding?
I think that you still go based off of where you feel comfortable with until there's a reason that you know of or that you feel that you need to back off, like we saw from Kaitlin Harding, who was getting jammed up. So it's going to be different for every hitter for what they feel and how they approach that inner half of the plate. If they feel comfortable getting their hands to that pitch, where they're at in that game, in that moment. It's also subjective.
Another 0-2 from Odyssey Alexander. Klingler pops it up. Could be a big chance for the second out. Wisz tracks it down in foul territory. We are to the most dangerous part of the Blaze order today. 7, 8, 9. 5 hits in 9 plate appearances. Mackenzie Clark has singled each of her last 2 times at the plate. Those were both off Lexi Kilfoyl. Takes strike one.
When Odyssey is getting that pitch called for a strike, she's tough to hit. When she's not getting that pitch called for a strike, I think it opens up more opportunities for a hitter to go up with a game plan against her. But when she's getting her screwball called inside about a ball off the plate to the right-handed hitters, that is what makes her so effective. Good miss there with her curve a little bit off. That is the key for her, is to throw to the inner half against these righties a little off the plate where they cannot barrel it up in the way that Erin Coffel did against her.
Coming back inside.
Excuse me, and the way that Kaitlin Harding did against her. Two monster shots to the left side that replayed through my head when I was thinking about that home run. Both of them went a long way.
Odyssey could end the 8th right here and give the Bandits a big opportunity for a win, and she does. Clark goes down swinging. Odyssey has struck out 3, 2 of them coming in this 8th frame, and the Bandits have a chance to win it. Four, bottom of the 8th. Bandits trying to snap a 3-game losing streak, their longest of the season. First time they've lost consecutive games, let alone 3 in a row. Emma Lemley back in the circle for the Blaze. We'll see how the Bandits decide to play this strategically. We talked about it. It's Sydney McKinney who is going to lead things off with that runner on second base, which will be Bubba Nichols-Camarena.
More short game and good short game handler, and Sydney McKinney coming up. Is comfortable squaring around to bunt, not even squaring around, likely run through the box to put a bunt down like with a drag.
Is there any way you can pitch to this to try and eliminate it?
Well, and Emma Lemley is good in this situation, tough to bunt against because of her rise ball spin. That's how you usually like to pitch hitters in this situation, try to get them to pop it up.
There it is, back to Lemley hard. Job done for Sydney McKinney. The winning run 60 feet from home plate.
Good job by Sydney McKinney to get the top half of this rise ball that comes in like it's up in the zone, but she gets her barrel right on the top half of the ball to make sure that she does not pop it up. It's what Emma Lemley wants, and it's not what McKinney wants.
Delaney Wisz has already walked it off once for the Bandits in extras this year. They're 1-0 in extras, as we showed you. It's because Delaney Wisz had a walk-off base hit up the middle off of Rachel Garcia in Sulphur against the Volts. One.
Delaney Wisz is trying to elevate the ball to the outfield here. Sacrifice fly that's deep enough is get a scorer, Bubba, from third base, but the wind is blowing in.
Popped up into left field, down in fair territory. Nichols-Camarena scores. Delaney Wisz, the hero, again. She didn't crush it, but it was placed perfectly.
That's why you get the runner over to third base with a bunt, because even if you don't crush it, you have so many different ways to score that runner from third base. So great execution by McKinney to get Bubba over to third base, and then not a well-hit ball. She gets jammed. It's not pretty, but it falls. And it's going to be the game-winning hit to get the Bandits off of the losing skid, back into the win column, and a crushing loss again for the Blaze as they had the lead for a lot of this game.
How many times have the Blaze been right there? They could be right there in the hunt right now, in the middle of the standings, but stick there in their 3 wins after After beating the Bandits yesterday, these two split the 2 games, and the Bandits snap a 3-game losing streak. Much needed win for this Bandits team, who was so good from day one, before they hit a little skid at the end of the first half and into the start of the second. Savannah's down on the field with Delaney Wisz.
Delaney, Coach Newman talks all the time about playing the game that is presented to you. How did you all embrace that today?
Yeah, I think honestly just trying to do what it takes to get the job done. We've been working through some things as a team, but I think just like the most important thing is getting the win at the end of the day.
You know, you mentioned how you just kind of find your way in that last at bat. Sometimes it doesn't have to be the biggest swing. It just has to be well placed. What were you thinking about stepping into the box, about what your team needed with the situations on base?
Yeah, Emma Lemley is a tough competitor in the circle, so just knowing what she brings to the circle and knowing what I need to do to get the job done, I just knew that I needed to get the ball over the infield some way, somehow. So, yeah. Really good bunt by Sid McKinney, too, getting the runner over to third.
Absolutely. You mentioned this team working through some things. How big was this win today to be able to fight back in extras to take into the next series?
Yeah, I think any win in the second half of the season is going to be huge for us, just being able to carry that momentum into the rest of the season.
Thanks, Delaney. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Chucky, back to you.
Thank you, Savannah. Big win for the Bandits as they get it done in extras. A late scare from the Blaze with the Kaitlin Harding home run, but Delaney Wisz perfectly placed down the left field line to bring home the winning run. Bandits won at 5-4 over the Blaze in game 1 today. Still one more coming up at the top of the hour, and it's a big one. The Volts need wins to climb back up toward the top 2 spots in the standings. They'll face off with the Talons. Savannah Collins, Amanda Scarborough, myself, Chucky Kemp, will be back soon. Thanks, everybody.